Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to Answers Life. I hope everyone's doing great today. Now, I'm pretty sure there's many people out here that are panicking about the recent government shutdown that we got going on, along with everything else that's going on with this current economy. I've been watching a lot of videos of other content creators talking about the government shutdown. All kinds of people are just panicking because they can't afford their life, basically, which is sad. And I hate to see people go through that. But I came up with some ideas of what people can do during times like these. And what I'm getting ready to say are actually things that you ought to be doing even when times are good. And what I'm getting ready to say, let me just say it. In this society, many of us have gotten further and further away from family. Many of us have gotten further and further away from taking care of ourselves. And I think the most important thing that we can do in times like these is to take care of your health. Eat a balanced diet, get some type of moving around in on a daily basis. Go outside every day and get some type of fresh air in your lungs. I don't care if you're outside for, let's say, only a half hour. Now, I don't even care if it's winter time. It's good for all of us to get some fresh air in our lungs. And also, if you're able to, try to spend at least 20 minutes a day out in the sun, or, be out in the sun for, at least 20 minutes a day. That way you get your dose of vitamin D. And for those of you that are already in regular contact with your family, you got a couple of friends that you got a couple of good friends that don't live too far away, and you see them on a regular basis. Congratulations. I'm going to say that you guys are actually a little bit ahead of the game. But for the rest of us, and I include myself in this, I believe that we need to just do a better job at just staying in regular contact with our friends and our family. I'm not saying that you need to be up underneath your family and live next door to them or anything like that. I'm just saying, maybe once a week, call your family. Like if you're like me and you live long distance, maybe once a week or once a month even, call your family, see how people are doing. Make sure everybody's good. And maybe if you're close enough, maybe once every week or once every month, jump in your vehicle, go visit your family face to face. And I would say if you're close enough, at least once a week. And again, if you're farther away and you don't have any friends in your immediate area, I would say once every few months, jump in your vehicle and drive out to your friend's place and go visit some of your friends and just stay in touch. And for those of you that are, let me say this. Basically what I'm saying is, especially in times like these, it's very important to, keep in regular contact with your family and friends. That's basically what I'm saying. And of course, take care of your health. It's been a while since I've been out here. I don't think I've been out here I think it's been maybe a couple of weeks since I've been out here last. I just been busy with work and other stuff going on. I just really haven't had an opportunity to come out here and do anything out here at my other property. And another thing is, in times like these, I know this is easier said than done, but in times like these, there is really no sense of panicking. If you sit around and you panic, it's not going to do you no good. I mean, and for those of you that are contemplating on making a major financial decision, like whether you're making a major financial decision to make a big ticket purchase, like a home, a car, or some other big ticket purchase. I mean, I don't care if you're working a 9 to 5 or if you run your own business. I would say if you're making a big ticket purchase, make sure you have a crap load of money left over after you make that purchase. That way, you're not finding yourself in a financial bind after making that big ticket purchase. Now, if you find yourself already in a financial bind and maybe you lost your job, maybe you're panicking because you work for the government and you don't know how long this government shutdown is going to last for. So now you're in panic mode. You're figuring how you're going to take care of yourself, how you're going to take care of your family for many of you. And maybe you're thinking, well, maybe I should go ahead and sell my vehicle and buy something a little cheaper. Maybe I should sell my house and go back to paying rent or buy something smaller. And when it comes to decisions like that, I would say, for one, before you actually do any of that type of stuff, I mean, sit down and look at the numbers, because sometimes downsizing does not make sense. Like, you might have, like, for an example, you might currently own a nice home somewhere in a nice area, nice, quiet. Maybe it's sitting on a couple of acres. And you're contemplating on getting rid of that house because of finances. What you got to take into consideration before you make that decision is, for one, how much money are you going to potentially lose if you sell that home? Like, if you're one of these people that purchased a home recently and now you want to sell because you're panicking, because for most people that panic and want to sell their home, I mean, most people that make those type of choices, or they think about doing those type of things, are generally people that haven't owned their home but for maybe a few years tops. Because people that own their homes for 10, 20, plus years, generally speaking, people who've been in their home for that long, they're not going to be so quick to want to unload their home. So for those of you that may have just bought your home recently, you're thinking about getting rid of it, first of all, take into consideration the amount of money that it's going to cost for you to get rid of your home. Realtor fees, possible home repairs you may need to make in order for your home to sell in a timely manner, if at all. Movement expenses, and whether you're going to purchase something a little smaller or just go back to paying rent. Take some time and look at the current rental market in the area that you want to move to. Look at the current rent prices look at the current rent prices. If you think you want to buy something smaller because you think it's going to be more beneficial to you financially, again, jump online, jump on Zillow, Realtor.com, and take a look at some of the houses that you think you might want to buy. I mean, you can type in square footage and number of bedrooms and bathrooms and all that good stuff. Neighborhoods, you can type all that in and look it up. And then look at the prices. And compare the price of what you'll pay for your new home versus the price you're paying for your current residence. Compare the price that you'll pay per month for rent versus what you're currently paying on your mortgage for your current residence. And I would say for many of you, it's not going to make any sense to downsize. Downsizing will not make sense for many of you. Like, if you purchased your home even in, let's say, 2021, and definitely if you purchased your home before 2021, and now you're in panic mode, you will most likely be better off keeping your home as opposed to selling it and going back to rent or buying something smaller. Because you gotta figure, ever since 2020, 2021, rent prices have skyrocketed in most parts of the country, and still has mortgage payments. Interest rates are way up. Because back in the early 2020s, interest rates were like crazy low, like 2 and 3%. Now they're flex rating between, I want to say, maybe 7 to 8%. Well, I'm just somewhere off in there. Maybe they're in the 6% range. I don't know, but I know they're a lot higher now than what they were 4 or 5 years ago. So those are things that you guys are going to want to think about for those of you that are in panic mode and now you want to unload your home. Before you do, just, I beg you, for your own sake and for your family's sake, to take my advice and to really do your due diligence before you make any major moves that you will most likely regret later on. Because, you could wake up tomorrow and, for those of you that work for the government will be back open again. You could wake up tomorrow, and for those of you that got laid off, you would have landed another opportunity. Or you could wake up and you may have came up with a business idea. And if you were to put that in action, it might make you some decent money. And no, this is not me just being delusional. This is me just encouraging you guys that are currently in panic mode to really think about things before you do them. Because what may appear to be a good decision today will prove to not be such a good decision in the long run. And if you're going to buy a big ticket item, again, like I said, make sure you got a crap load of money set aside before you do. Make sure that if you're buying it on a payment, make sure that if you lost your job the next day, you can still, like if you buy a home, if you lost your job, let's say the next day, you can still pay your mortgage. You buy a new vehicle, you can still continue to pay that note. And let's see what else. And another thing that wouldn't be a bad idea is, if you don't know how to garden and grow your own stuff, even though you may not plan on growing your own stuff anytime soon, it never hurts to learn how to grow your own stuff. Just in case you have to, rely on those skills to survive. Because the way these food prices are and the quality of a lot of your produce these days is not all that great, if you ask me. So in times like these, try not to make any quick, rash decisions about anything, really. And whatever you do, stay away from the predatory payday advanced loans. Stay away from those people. I would say, if feasible, stay away from credit cards. Stay away from running up a bunch of credit card debt. Because one thing, and I know this is going to be easier said than anything else, but I'm old enough to understand that another thing is, when we look at what's going on in this current economy, when we look at what's going on with the government shutdown, all this is only going to be temporary. I mean, at some point, things will get better. I'm not saying it will return to what they were before, but I am confident that things will get better. So during the times that we're facing right now, try not to crash out. Try not to do anything that you'll regret later. Try to stay out of the legal system, because a lot of times you crash out, you do something that might land you in jail or even prison, and then the rest of your life is going to be ruined in many cases. So try not to crash out. Like, if you lose your job, you've been at your job for, let's say, 10, 15, 20 years. You're good with all your employees. You're one of these people that genuinely thinks that your job is their second family, or they're more family than your real family. If you wake up one day and they give you the boot, they give you the unemployment slip, and you lose your job, again, don't crash out. Whatever you do not crash out. Just go ahead, collect the unemployment, and just be thinking of other ways to earn an income. I mean, for those of you that, for whatever reason, you done lost your job, or you're going to lose your job, and for whatever reason, you may not qualify for any unemployment benefits. I know this is easier said than done, but again, don't crash out. Because once you crash out, and now you're getting a whole bunch of trouble, you end up in jail, you end up in prison, you got a record, and it's going to make it that much harder for you to find another job. Even if you're creative and you have a entrepreneurial aspect about yourself, still, some people are going to ask you before they allow you to do work for them. Some people are going to ask you if you have a criminal record or not. And if you do, some people won't allow you to do any work for them because of your criminal record. Or the second you give them your name, they'll look you up real quick. They'll Google you real quick. And, if you got anything on you, people might get a little leery about wanting to use you for any type of work. So, again, I can't emphasize this enough to you people. Don't crash out. You lose your job, don't crash out. It ain't worth it. And I would say one more thing. For those of you that I touched on this on a previous video that I made, but I'm going to touch on it again briefly. For those of you that are looking at buying a house, or you're looking at purchasing land, again, before you make that decision, just try to keep at least in the back of your mind, how far do you want to be from your family? How far do you want to be from your friends? Now, if you think you're going to miss your friends. You think you're going to miss your family. If the piece of land or property that you're getting ready to buy is real far away, again, don't buy it. Be patient and wait for something to come available that's closer to where you want to live, that's closer to your friends, your family, your people, and everything like that. Amenities that you may need or you may enjoy. And like for me, the older I get, like I said before, the more important that the more important that I think family and friends are. Because when times get real crazy and, maybe you're short on some resources, you might have to make that dreaded phone call to one of your friends or to one of your family members. And you might have to ask them, hey man, you got this, you got that. And they might make that dreaded call to you. Because I'm thinking, because I would say one advantage of living close by to your friends and or your family is you might be financially stable to where you can give somebody some money, and then that for the person in return, they might be able to do something for you in return. Or you might be, let's say, an auto mechanic, so you might be able to go over there and do all the work for them to save them money from having to go to a garage. And then maybe you might live by a person who you're good friends with. They might be a plumber, so whenever you need anything that's plumbing related done to your home, you can bring them over and they can do that work for you. And you can save yourself a significant amount of money from having to deal with an outside contractor. And I don't know what else to tell you guys. I'm hoping that you guys got something out of today's video. I mean, in a nutshell, don't crash out. And before you purchase or sell any big ticket items, do your due diligence, investigate the cost, and just don't make any rash decisions. And also, in times like these, especially in times like these, try to have a couple of friends that you're close to, that you keep in regular contact with. And try to keep in contact with at least a couple of your family members. At least a couple. Even though you might be long distance, like I am, still. Call them up, see how they're doing. Just keep in regular touch. Just keep in regular contact. And that's all I got for this one. Man, it is so nice out here. I mean, right now it's early October, and in the part of Alabama where I'm at, the sun is out, and there's just enough wind to keep me from sweating bullets out here. So it's nice out here. All right, folks. I'll check you all later. Stay blessed.